Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aji Ridwan and I'm from class Quantity Surveying 3B. Alright, from this moment I will explain for my mid-exam Tekon Teknologi Konstruksi. Alright, from this material I choose T-beam. Okay, from that page, scope of work. 1. Iron work. 2. From work. 3. Casting work. Next, T-beam is structural element found is a building or building that use a deep foundation or local shallow foundation. This T-beam is located above the ground and on shallow local foundation, such as footplate foundation or deep foundation. This T-beam is the same as the beam, except that is located in the lower structure. Here is the difference between a slope and T-beam. The difference between the slope and T-beam: slope does not rest on the ground directly. T-beam is located above the ground and on shallow local foundation such as footplate or deep foundation. Ironwork. Point 1. Ironwork is a part of structural work. This work plays an important role in the quality aspect of the implementation, considering the important function of reinforcing steel in the strength of the building structure. Okay, next, technical implementation. Ironwork is 5 points. Point 1 is steel assembly must be in accordance with the blueprint and iron specification from the reference drawing provided by the board of directors. Point 2. Before any construction work is carried out, the reinforcing area must be cleaned of rubbish, dirt, and other obstructive materials. Point 3. Installation of iron is done by first installing the lower layer of reinforcement, then installing the top layer of reinforcement. Under the edges lower reinforcement, a 5 cm thick concrete decking should be placed in an area that may sag or experience shifting. Installation of strip-ups is carried out after the substrate is finished. That is, together with the installation of the top reinforcement. Point 4 is installation of the ties reinforcement is carried out after the stirrup iron is attached and then tied with the Brendan wire so that it does not move or get off position. After all, the reinforcement is tied to each other and form as a rigid unit. Then the decking concrete is installed on the vertical reinforcement. Okay, next tool is 4.1 manual bar cutter. Point 2 electric bar cutter. Point 3 bar bending, and point 4 rebar tying. Next, from the picture. Okay, next. Okay, from this point, formwork is a temporary construction which is a mold to determine the shape of the construction while the contract is still fresh. Next, technical implementation framework. It's 6 points. Point 1, prepare the framework board of the tie beam work. Point 2, prepare the column source. Its function is that the framework is precisely at the coordinate point according to the planning drawing. Point 3, then install the tie framework. Don't forget the decking concrete or now the reinforcing concrete. The purpose of this concrete decking is to keep the distance of the concrete blanket from changing during the casting process. Point 4, attach the tie beam belt to column from work for reinforcement. The tie beam size used is the relative to the soft drawing. To lock the tie beam, the tie rod must be used. Tie rods can be made by yourself or purchase. Point 5, installing the support pipe to maintain the horizontal tie beam against the column. To get the perfect tie beam structure, the framework must not tilt or sag when casting. Therefore, the installation of support pipes is considered very important. Point 6, after the framework component and framework gaps are closed and get approvals from the board of directors, then concrete casting is carried out according to the desire of concrete. Okay, next, tools. 5 point. Tools. Number 1, formwork board. Number 2, decking concrete. And number 3, T-rod. And number 4, support pipe. Okay, next, this picture from the column and this picture from the slope. And the casting work. Casting work is the job of pouring fresh concrete into a mold of structural element that has been fitted with reinforcing bars. Before casting work is carried out, a job inspection must be carried out to ensure that the framework and reinforcement has been installed as a plan. Okay, technical implementation casting work is 6.6 steps. Step 1, before casting concrete, first make a job mix formula to determine the required mixture composition so that the quality of the concrete is expected. The job mix formula that has been made by the contractor is submitted to the director and field supervisor or for approval. In this project for structural work using K225 quality ready mix concrete. Step 2, casting of concrete begins after the consultant or director approves the casting of the concrete, which is stated in the application for works implementation. Step 3, check the reference strengths that has been installed or fabricated. All size and reinforcement of the reference are checked properly and approved by the consultant or director for future work. Install mechanic and electrical pipe spreading across the casting area. Step 4, clean all surface and casting location from dirt and rubbish. Step 5, pour the ready mixed concrete into the casting area. When casting, the concrete is level and compact with a vibrator is so that the concrete is solid and there are no wasp nests. Step 6. Avoid setting concrete because the area to be cast is not ready. Next, tools. 5 point. Point 1, agitator truck. Point 2, concrete pump. Point 3, trimmy. Point 4, placing boom. Point 5, internal vibrator. And for this picture, okay, that's enough. And alright, thank you for your time and see you.